what crooked is and perverse is. It's the height of absolute wickedness. It's crooked. It's not partly crooked, it's crooked and it's perverse. And the outward show out here is a covering up of just how wicked and crooked this world is. And do we want this world? No, we don't. No, we don't. It's going to hell, and it can go to hell. Oh, the old nature is there. Oh, yes. Nah. Wretched man that I am. Who shall rid me of this body of death, along with this world? Crooked, absolutely bent. And so our walk through this world has to be circumspect. We're always having to check and to check and to check. Is that right, what the world is saying? Is it? And this is the whole point. Always asking questions. Never sit upon our laurels, upon our leases. Ask questions. Question, question, question. All the time. And where is the evidence? Two things in our lives that we should propagate. Evidence and questioning. Throughout the scriptures, we are instructed to question. Because this world is crooked and perverse. And to ask for evidence. Always. Have that mindset. That's what we should have. We may not have it 100%. We fail. But if we've got that attitude with us, the vast majority of time, we will question. We will ask for evidence. And as this world gets worse and worse and worse, the abomination of the times is overwhelming. Even the ungodly find it overwhelming. And it's to get worse. Now then, what are we to do? Well, we're to grow. Grow up. Learn to face the world. To grow with more solid relationship with God by doing what is right and by examining all things to see if they be of God. Question, question, question. And the more we obtain the truth of a matter, the more we are coming closer and closer to God. In a sense of a relationship that is more feeling than it is from the beginning. Now, we're all on different levels. But you see, God is mindful of us because He's created us. And some may have more knowledge, more truth than others. But they're not any less than any of us. Because God is with the truth, no matter what amount of truth a person has obtained. The amount of truth they have obtained of things and of this world, and God is with that person within that. Alright. And is it not true that those that have most knowledge are so often pulled up by those who have their own measure of knowledge? I say pulled up. When they speak to those who have greater knowledge, they are instructive on themselves to the ones that have greater knowledge. They see things and say, well, what about this? And the one that has greater knowledge hasn't seen that. And the one that has greater knowledge says to this person, well, have you seen this then? And this is how it goes. We are instructive of one another. And those who go around saying, oh, well, I've attained all this amount of knowledge, well, I'm greater than you. You're not. And if you think that, then you better check to see if you're in salvation. Because that's not the Christian spirit. Knowledge puffeth up. That is knowledge that is taken the wrong way. Knowledge is fine. Our God knows all things, and He has created all things, even Himself. You can't get any greater knowledge than God. But when man takes knowledge and, aren't I just greater than you? Look at my knowledge. No, you're not. You're no greater than me. God has created us all. We're all equal. We're all on different levels, but we're all equal. And that's the best way to look at life. When somebody comes along and says, oh, here, I'm this, I'm that, oh, gold, here we go. Right, okay, carry on. Because I'm not listening to you. Knowledge, if anything, should make a person humble. Because it realises within a person that the more you know, the less you do know. And aren't I just a stupid idiot? That is the right spirit that carries knowledge. Now then, another matter, and this is the heart of this morning. The aspect of how we actually cope with this world. The Arminian will say, oh, pray, and we need prayer warriors, and it's always focused wrongly. It's not focused upon the practical, but the spiritual, the sacred. Now, we're not talking away from the sacred. Sorry, Mr. Arminian, you were just going to accuse me of something, weren't you there? Eh? Oh, he's throwing away the sacred, he's against the sacred. No. Everything has its place, and it has its time, and it has its order. Okay, even in the kingdom of chaos, man will create a certain order for himself to follow. Strict rules, regulations. Now then, we deal with the spiritual, we deal with prayer, we deal with the study of the scriptures, we mull over the scriptures, we delve in and dig into the scriptures, and mulling over the scriptures is the best way. Just to take the scriptures and to mull over them. What are the scriptures saying? What are they telling me? Just growing in grace and knowledge of the truth is the principal way. And the fear, okay, that Paul says here is not fleshly fear. Okay? That you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and a perverse nation among whom ye shine as lights. Work out your salvation with fear and trembling. In other words, holy reverence towards God. Never think to yourself that, oh, I've reached the top. I'm better than you and I've reached this height. And no, because God can swipe you and will swipe you down. The back of his hand. Oh no. We are what we are by the grace of God. And fear and trembling is only right. It's piety. It's true piety. Thinking of ourselves as nothing. That God is all. That's the position we should be in. A holy reverence for God and away from ourselves. Now there are some people, quite rightly in this day and age, that say, well, you know, I'm going through this, going through that, going through the other. How do I deal with it? I've got these problems. How do I deal with the problems? Well, you should go to your minister. You should go to your church. What they're not telling me. They don't know. They don't preach it. So they don't preach practical Christianity. How to practically walk through this world. No, they give sermons here and they give sermons there, and it's a bit like dishwater really. You shouldn't really go. It's a waste of time. When I go as a routine, well, that's up to you. You know, each and every one of us is responsible for ourselves before God. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll give you advice. That's all. The thing is, when we are going through problems, we all go through them. We're not alone. Problem you're going through? I've been through it. The Christian down the road's been through it. And what we go through is maybe a different setup, but we're still going through the pain and the heartache and the bewilderment and the sadness and the grating of the soul. And then we come through the other side and we have the joy of having come through the other side. And then we can carry on with joy in the heart, and sadness and sorrow has gone for that moment in time. And it is all because of the fallen nature of this old nature and the fallen nature of the world. Christ sits as a refiner of silver, doesn't he, in Malachi, with us. Puts us through the furnace of affliction. And sometimes the flames are so hot, we wonder if we can ever survive. But we come through those things, and we must come through those things, and then there is a levelling of things, and they don't go away, the trials and the tribulations that we go through. Oh, sorry, Mr. Millennialist. Trials and tribulations, that's for the end times, isn't it? Daniel 7 weeks and all that. Oh, I'm very sorry about that. I must take back the scriptures there. Hey? Aye. We go through trials and tribulations. That's how it is. We're not alone. We get to think, oh, I'm the only one that's going through this. I'm the only one. You're not. At all. Read the scriptures. Read the scriptures. We all go through the fiery trials of cross providences. It gives us character, you see. That's one of the elements that gives us character. Cross providences, difficulties, hardships. Oh, gives us character, because if we persevere through them, if we subject ourselves to God and say, God, this is sent of thee, give me strength, and the grace that is given is sufficient. And when we say sufficient, it is just sufficient. It's not overly sufficient, it is sufficient. It is measured out so that we can go along this way, this pathway of the troubles of our lives at this moment in time, whenever we come to this moment in time. And then, of course, the end of it, the end of this road, we come into the light and rejoicing. And as young Christians, we go through many times these tribulations. It's correcting us and it's giving us character. And the thing about this is that if we do not say, Lord, thou hast brought this about, if we do not personally accept that this is of God, if we become hardened, then we will become hardened. The benefit of it will be lost. We won't become the characters that we should become. We are perfect in ourselves. That cannot be altered. The true man of the heart is perfect. It's this outward thing. This thing, this dead, this body of death. We have to mature into a character that is appreciated as being upright, sensitive, charitable, discerning, understanding, meek and mild and inoffensive, and yet at the same time standing, fighting as good soldiers of Jesus Christ for the truth. For the truth. One of the aspects of growing up in Christ is a turning, a gradual turning, bit by bit, line upon line, away from the world. Okay, because we are trained from cradle, it's roughly up to the 7-year-old, in the establishment of this world, to accept this world system as being true. But once we are born again, we see a different world, a different system, and we must embrace more fully in our walk the new world that we're born into. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Let this mind be in you that is in Christ Jesus. How did he walk? He walked separate from the world. He was not wedded and indulged in the world, but at the same time when we talk about indulgement, we're not talking about how this world indulges. Oh yes, we partake of this world. We indulge in this world, but not to the depth that this world does. We touch, but as though touching not. Isn't it? We handle as though handling not. This world wants to grab everything. We don't, we just use what there is for the purposes that we need to use them for. Now, one of the things that comes up quite frequently is, I feel this, I feel that, I feel the other, feel. It's verging on narcissism, isn't it? They're verging on narcissism. And what happens when people go, well, I feel this and I feel that and I feel the other? You will self-explode. You'll inner explode. You will. You'll go bang. How do you get out of this? How do you get out of this self-centeredness? Because that's what it is. Let's be plain, that's what it is. Of course you've got the world giving an example of itself, how remarkable it is. The Arminians there, yay! Oh yes, you are remarkable. I mean, we are wonderfully, remarkably made. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what man does, you see, he takes it one step further.